Good evening and welcome to Kevin's Corner. I'm Bishop Kevin R. White, and it's always a pleasure to come to you and share with you each Wednesday evening at 6:30. No, we're running a little late tonight, but we're here, and always look forward to just coming and sharing and talking and hopefully getting some response from you about the subject matters that I be talking about from week to week. Last week we talked about investments and finance, and I was good to see the response that came back from that. And hopefully those of you who have received your stimulus or will be receiving your stimulus, you'll take heed to what we talked about last week. Tonight I want to kind of shift gears. First of all, I want to give a shout out to the Chesapeake Coalition of Black Pastors, in which I serve as the president, and Pastor Michael Tolliver is the vice president. But just on yesterday and today, we were able to vaccinate just about 1,800 people in conjunction with the Chesapeake Regional Health Care against COVID-19. And that's a major feat here in the city of Chesapeake, and just want to give a shout out to all of the pastors who are part of the Chesapeake Coalition of Black Pastors, and say that I appreciate all that you do, and certainly all that you did to in this particular effort. We will be having vaccination clinics in the future as well, and so we're working diligently, we're working hard to get everybody that we know vaccinated. And so I want to say to persons who are watching us this evening, if you have not been vaccinated, get your vaccination. If you made up your mind that you're not, I want to say to you that we still love you. And you know, that's a decision that only you can make, but we want to try to get as many people vaccinated as we possibly can. If you have any concerns about the vaccination itself, I'll be more than happy to talk to you, and so that you can move forward. Tonight, I want to start out by saying that we are praying, and our thoughts go out to the families in Boulder, Colorado, of the recent mass shooting in which 10 lives were lost at the hands of a 21-year-old man who saw fit to go into a grocery store with an assault rifle and take innocent lives. And certainly our prayers and our thoughts go out to the families who are suffering during this particular time. Also, our prayers and our thoughts go out to the families down in Atlanta, Georgia, for the 8 persons whose lives were taken, I believe, last week at the hands of a young man with an assault rifle who went into the spa and killed 8 people, 6 Asian women and 2 others. Our heartfelt prayers go out to those families. So you had 10 people in Boulder, Colorado. You had 8 people in Atlanta, Georgia. In Boulder, Colorado, you had 10 white persons who was killed by a gunman who was also white. In Atlanta, Georgia, you had 6 Asian women and 2 other persons who were killed at the hands of a young white man. But did you know that since January, there have been 112 murders in Chicago, Illinois? That's right. Since January of this year, there has been 112 murders in the city of Chicago. So if you look at, let's say, the 10 in Boulder, Colorado, the 8 in Atlanta, Georgia, there's 18 people. But in 3 months, you've had 112 people. So if you even break that down, it comes to be about 37 people a month whose lives have been lost in Chicago. In Boulder, Colorado, 10 white lives. In Atlanta, Georgia, 6 Asian lives and 2 white lives. In Chicago, 112 people have been murdered. Those who were African Americans. And I'm taking my time tonight because I need for you to let that kind of set in and resonate a little bit. And so when you compare the deaths around this country and the attention that certain deaths get and the lack of attention that other deaths get, we have a problem. And we have a problem that has to be addressed. We have a problem that we have to speak truth to power, that with these 112 lives, black lives lost in Chicago, we have to, as a people, and in case you don't know, I am a black man and have been black all of my life, and I enjoy being black, and I'm going to die black. And so the struggle is real. My concern regarding our people is real. It is troublesome. It is burdensome. I feel the weight of our people of continuing to kill one another. And so we as a people have to really look inward to try to come up with some strategy as to how we're going to overcome this hurdle. I do need to say this, and I said openly and out front, systemic racism plays a major part in what is happening in the black community, in the black family, because there has been a perpetual wheel that has been set into motion for this to continue. And it just appears that nobody really wants to step forward to talk about it and really to deal with it. And so, you know, I want to deal with it. We've got to stop this. And we as a black race must take the responsibility because nobody is going to save us but us. I'll say that again. Nobody is going to save us but us. And so therefore, we really need to, you know, address this. And we have to really start addressing it at a very early age. I said this the other day, that we really have to reshape our culture because our culture has really moved away from almost everything that our ancestors stood for, everything that our ancestors represented, and we have really moved away from it, and we are actually losing more than we are gaining. It may look like that, you know, as a people or as a race of people, that we're making great strides, and I won't take away from anybody, you know, and in certain areas we have made great strides. But at the same time, we have to really look inward and, you know, retrospectively and say, hey, okay, what is it going to take for us to break this cycle? It, you know, I talked last week about investments, I talked last week about money, and this is continuing to affect us financially as a people. You know, for every one black person, black male that is killed, there are at least 4 lives that are really lost because usually there are 3 persons that are involved with the one murder, and usually the other 3 end up being incarcerated for some reason or another. So you have 4 black males, and out of that 4 black males, you could easily have 9 to 10 dependents, meaning children, that those 4 black males have produced. And all of those 9 to 10 children then end up fatherless. Or they end up, you know, having to be reared then in a home without a male figure. So you have 4 lives that are taken away, that are removed, and you have 9 to 10 lives that now have to live not in the best of circumstances, okay? And so then when we look at that, we have to understand and note, if you take it financially, the one person has to be buried. Chances are they didn't have an insurance, so therefore they have to borrow money in order to bury the one deceased person. They usually have to go to the grandmother to get the money. The grandmother then has to borrow against any retirement or whatever that she has planned to have. And so then when she finally retires, she doesn't have the money that she thought. The three others have to have attorneys. So then you have to include other three grandmothers because they have to go to their grandmother to borrow money to hire an attorney. A lot of times the grandmother then will put up her property, put up her house and that kind of thing, and it just tires her up really for the duration of her life. She ended up paying back something that she never thought that she would have to pay back. So yeah, our heartfelt prayers go out to the families in Boulder, Colorado, and those families in Atlanta, Georgia. But our heart should also be bleeding for the 112 persons who've been killed in Chicago alone since the beginning of the year. And so we as a people, nobody's going to save us but us. So we as a people have to get together, come together. Let's sit down and let's talk. Let's dialogue. Let's chew a while about how we can change and reshape our culture. So we'll be talking more about that. But it was good to have spent these few minutes with you. And hopefully I've said something that has sparked something in you to say, yes, we must do something about the reshaping of our culture because our future is at stake. So thank you for listening, and I look forward to seeing you again next Wednesday for Kevin's Corner.